The space station floated quietly above a dead moon. The docking bay lights flickered now and then, casting long shadows across the empty floor. Captain Daniel Reed sat alone, crouched beside a broken maintenance drone. His hands moved with steady skill, a small tool in one hand, a flashlight in the other. He didn't hear the faint hiss of the side door sliding open. A figure stepped inside, moving like a shadow. She was tall and slim, her skin faintly glowing silver under the lights. Her eyes shimmered a cold blue. Every movement was silent, precise. She was an assassin trained for one purpose. Her target was only a few meters away. The Andrak Dominion had sent her across 3 star systems with a simple order: kill the human captain before dawn. She had studied his file. Daniel Reed, former fleet officer, skilled in tactics, dangerous to their plans. But looking at him now, he seemed almost ordinary. No guards, no weapons, just a man working quietly with a broken machine. She moved closer, her boots making no sound on the metal floor. In her right hand was a pulse blade, its edge glowing faint red. One strike and it would be over. Her breathing slowed, her eyes locked on the back of his neck. Then she saw it. Lying beside him on the floor was a small necklace. Alien in design, shaped like a curved star, its metal scratched and worn. For some reason, her steps slowed. That necklace looked familiar. Her mind flashed to a memory. A night of fire and smoke, her younger self lying wounded, and a human man shielding her from soldiers. She had thought it was a dream from her childhood. But here it was real right in front of her. Daniel noticed a flicker of movement in the reflection of his tool. He turned his head slightly. Instead of fear, there was calmness in his eyes, as if he had already seen death before. "I don't think you're here to fix drones," he said quietly. She didn't answer. The blade in her hand trembled just a little. For the first time in years, she wasn't sure if she could strike. Daniel glanced at the necklace and then back at her. "That belonged to someone I once knew," he said. Her lips parted, but no words came out. She could kill him now and complete the mission, but her hands refused to move. Instead, she stepped closer, her voice low but sharp. "Where did you get this?" Daniel's eyes narrowed. "Why does it matter?" For a few seconds, they stared at each other. In that moment, the assassin knew this mission would not go the way she had planned. The docking bay felt smaller now, as if the air itself had grown heavy. The assassin's fingers tightened on her blade, but she still didn't strike. Her mission was clear, no questions, no hesitation. Yet her body refused to move. Daniel slowly rose to his feet, his eyes never leaving hers. "If you're going to kill me, get it over with," he said, his voice steady. She expected him to beg, to plead for his life. Instead, he stood there calmly, like a man who had already faced worse than death. That calmness unsettled her. Her gaze fell to the necklace again. "This," she started, but stopped herself. She could not reveal what she suspected, not yet. "You shouldn't have it." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Funny. The person who gave it to me said the same thing before they died." Something sharp twisted in her chest. Her mind raced back to that night years ago. Blaster fire lighting the sky, the smell of burning metal, the cold fear in her heart. And then, a human, this human, carrying her to safety before vanishing into the chaos. Her grip on the blade weakened. Suddenly, a distant sound broke the moment. Heavy footsteps, the clank of metal boots echoing down the corridor. Both of them turned toward the sound. The assassin's instincts kicked in. She moved in close, her blade still between them, and whispered, "They're coming for you. You have seconds." Daniel smirked faintly. "And what about you? Aren't you they?" Her eyes narrowed, but there was no time to answer. The footsteps grew louder. The docking bay doors hissed open, revealing a squad of armed Andrak soldiers. Their leader's voice was cold and commanding. "Step away from the human," he ordered. The assassin felt something snap inside her. She realized the truth. They weren't here to help her finish the mission. They were here to clean up everything, including her. She glanced at Daniel, then back at the soldiers. Her blade shifted, pointing not at him, but at them. "Looks like your night just got interesting," she said quietly. The soldiers spread out, weapons aimed at Daniel. Their leader's voice was like ice. "Kill the human, and bring her in alive." Daniel frowned. "Her?" he asked, glancing at the assassin. She didn't answer. Her blade pulsed brighter, a low hum filling the air. She knew exactly what was happening. They had never planned for her to return. Her mission was just bait to get them close to Daniel without drawing attention. And now she was disposable. Daniel stepped forward, standing between her and the soldiers. "If you want her, you'll have to get through me." The assassin's eyes widened. This was exactly what he had done years ago, shielding her without hesitation. In the chaos of her childhood memory, she had never seen his face clearly. But now she knew. It was him. Her voice was low, almost a whisper. "That necklace. You kept it all this time." Daniel's jaw tightened. "I promised I'd return it. Looks like I finally can." The leader raised his blaster. "Enough talk." Before he could fire, the assassin moved. Her blade swept in a flash, cutting down the first soldier. Daniel grabbed a fallen weapon and fired at another. The bay exploded into chaos, plasma bolts and sparks lighting the shadows. They fought back to back, covering each other without a word. Her movements were precise, deadly, and his aim was unshakable. The soldiers were skilled, but the two of them moved like they had trained together for years. When the last soldier fell, the bay was filled with the smell of smoke and the sound of heavy breathing. Daniel lowered his weapon. "I guess you're not here to kill me anymore." She met his gaze, her expression unreadable. Not tonight. But deep inside, she already knew her mission had changed, and the galaxy would not forgive her for it. The silence after the fight didn't last long. A harsh alarm began to wail, echoing through the docking bay. Red lights flashed overhead, bathing everything in a warning glow. The assassin's eyes narrowed. "They know we're alive. Reinforcements are coming." Daniel checked the weapon he'd taken. It was nearly out of charge. "Then we'd better move." They started toward the side exit, but the bay doors slammed shut with a heavy clang. A metallic voice filled the air. "Docking bay sealed. No one leaves." She froze. "It's a trap," she said sharply. "They've locked down every path." From above, hidden panels slid open. Small drones dropped into the bay, each armed with twin blasters. Their lenses glowed red as they scanned for targets. The assassin pulled Daniel behind a stack of cargo crates just as the drones opened fire. Sparks exploded around them, and the metal walls burned where the bolts hit. "This is your plan?" Daniel said, crouched low. "It's their plan," she replied. "They don't want witnesses. Not you, not me." A drone swept overhead, scanning. She waited until it was almost past them, then leapt up, slicing it in half with one clean strike. Daniel aimed at another, firing before it could lock on. More drones poured in. The sound of blaster fire grew deafening. The assassin grabbed Daniel's arm and pulled him toward a maintenance hatch on the far wall. "There's a service tunnel behind that panel," she shouted over the noise. They moved fast, dodging between crates, diving under falling debris. A bolt grazed Daniel's shoulder, burning his jacket. He winced but kept moving. Reaching the hatch, she jammed her blade into the seam and forced it open. "Go!" she ordered. Daniel climbed in first, crawling through the narrow metal passage. She followed, sealing the hatch behind them just as another volley of blaster fire struck. In the dark tunnel, their breathing was loud and uneven. The station shuddered above them. Heavy footsteps and the clank of more soldiers moving in. Daniel glanced back. "You could have left me there. Why didn't you?" She didn't answer right away. Her voice was quiet when she finally spoke. "Because you didn't leave me. All those years ago." The maintenance tunnel was cramped and dark, the air thick with the smell of old metal. Faint vibrations shook the walls as heavy boots pounded somewhere above them. Daniel crawled forward, his shoulder aching from the burn. Behind him, the assassin moved silently, but her senses were sharp. She could hear the sound of soldiers spreading out, trying to guess where they had gone. "We can't go straight to the ship," she whispered. "They'll be waiting at every exit." Daniel glanced over his shoulder. "Then where?" She hesitated only a moment. "There's an old service lift on the far side of the station. If it still works, it will take us to the lower hangar." The tunnel sloped downward. They moved quickly, the metal creaking under their weight. At one junction, a panel above them blew open and a soldier dropped in, blaster raised. Daniel reacted instantly, grabbing the man's wrist and slamming him into the wall. The assassin struck next, a quick slice of her blade ending the threat. "Not bad for a human," she muttered. "Not bad for someone who was about to kill me," he replied. They pressed on, crawling through tighter spaces, ducking past dangling cables. At one point, they had to cross a graded section where the floor was missing. Below them, the deep machinery of the station roared. Daniel went first, testing each step. The assassin followed, moving with perfect balance. Finally, they reached the service lift. It was old and dusty, the control panel flickering weakly. She smashed the panel open and rewired it in seconds. The lift groaned, then began to descend. But as they dropped, Daniel noticed movement above, 3 soldiers sliding down the cables after them. "Company," he said. Without hesitation, she leapt up, grabbing the cable and slashing through it. The first soldier fell screaming into the shadows. The others scrambled to climb back up before the lift vanished into the darkness below. When the lift stopped, they stepped into the lower hangar. A wide, dim space with only a few small ships. The assassin pointed to a sleek black craft at the far corner. "That's mine. Move." They sprinted across the hangar, but the alarm blared again. Doors opened on all sides, and soldiers began to pour in. Daniel and the assassin exchanged one quick look. They would have to fight their way through together. Blaster fire filled the hangar, bright flashes cutting through the shadows. Daniel dove behind a cargo crate, firing back at the soldiers. The assassin moved like lightning, her blade a blur of silver and red. Every strike was precise, every movement controlled, but the enemy kept coming. "They won't stop," Daniel said between shots. "They're here for you as much as for me." Her eyes met his. "No, they're here because I didn't finish the job." A soldier charged from the side. Daniel spun and fired, but the shot missed. The assassin stepped in front of him, her blade slicing the attacker down before he could pull the trigger. "You could have let him take me," Daniel said, breathing hard. Her voice was steady. "I don't take orders from them anymore." For a moment, the fight seemed to slow. Her words hung in the air like a vow. She had been sent to kill him, but now she was protecting him with everything she had. More soldiers poured through the doors. Daniel's blaster clicked empty. The assassin tossed him a short, curved blade from her belt. "If you stay, you fight," she said. They stood shoulder to shoulder, cutting through the soldiers until the last one fell. The hangar was littered with bodies, the smell of scorched metal heavy in the air. Her ship was just a few meters away now. She ran to the ramp and motioned for him to follow. But Daniel stopped, looking back at the hangar entrance. "If I leave with you," he said slowly, "I can't come back. Everything I know, everyone I've worked with, it's over." She stepped closer, her voice lower now. "If you stay, you die. I'd rather you hate me alive than honor me dead." For the first time, she gave him a real smile. Not sharp, not cold, but warm and certain. Daniel glanced at the soldiers' bodies, then at her ship. His choice was clear. Daniel took a deep breath, then stepped onto the ramp. The assassin followed close behind, sealing the hatch the moment they were inside. The ship's engines hummed to life, a deep sound that made the floor vibrate. "Hold on," she said, sliding into the pilot's seat. Her fingers danced over the controls with practiced speed. Blaster fire struck the ship from outside, shaking the hull. Daniel gripped the side panel to steady himself. "They're not going to let us leave. They'll have to catch us first." The sleek craft lifted off, turning sharply toward the hangar doors. As they opened, a wall of enemy fighters appeared, blocking their path. Daniel's stomach sank. "That's A lot of ships. She smirked. Good thing I'm better than all of them. The ship shot forward, weaving through blaster fire. Daniel manned the rear cannons, hitting 2 fighters that came too close. She twisted and spun the craft with impossible precision, sliding between enemy ships until the stars stretched into streaks, the jump to hyperspace. The sudden quiet was almost unreal. Only the steady hum of the ship remained. Daniel leaned back in his seat, breathing hard. So what now? She glanced at him, her expression unreadable. Now we run, and we fight. Together. She reached down, unfastened the pulse blade from her belt, and dropped it on the floor. No more contracts, she said. From now on, I have one mission. Keep you alive. Daniel studied her for a moment. He still didn't know if he could fully trust her. But deep down, he knew she wasn't his enemy anymore. Far away, in the heart of the Andrek Dominion, a message was being sent across the stars. A bounty on both their heads. The hunt had just begun.